Okay, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the summer interview series where we are talking all things creative marketing, ways to get messages out into the world without seeming sales-like and spammy, and we really want to put ourselves out there in an authentic way. And I found somebody to talk about this today, and her name is Casey Szymanski, and we have so many fun things to talk about. So welcome, Casey.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. She's got the sun shining in from Florida. She's coming right through her window from sunshiny Florida. And I am located here in Michigan with a little bit of sunshine, not too much heat yet. And we are talking about marketing. So if you're tuning in, whether you are a writer, which I talk and coach writers, I have a publishing company, Cardinal Rule Press. Or if you have a product or a service that you're selling, this is for you because it's really about getting a message out into the world. And I want to start by Casey telling us a little bit about what she does because she's a really cool background.
Yeah, so I actually got my start as a wedding photographer many, many, many years ago, about a decade ago. And I owned a photography company for about 8 to 10 years. Traveled all over, captured people's memories, all that good stuff. I've also been a writer for as long as I can remember. I was the kid who left notes for my parents. I'm always better in writing, I say. So I've written quite a bit. And when it came time to find a career and kind of move on from photography, I packaged up everything I know and became a social media manager. So I've been doing that since about 2013. And I'm currently with the Cisco Talent Brand team, managing the We Are Cisco Instagram account, as well as their Life at Cisco blog. So I'm the human behind both of those outfits there.
That is awesome. And now do you work from home or are you working in an office?
I do. So I am one of Cisco's remote employees. So I get to work out of my home office here in Orlando. We have offices all over the globe, but quite a few of us get to work wherever because of Cisco's awesome technology. We can just work from anywhere in the world and we take advantage of that. So
very cool. Now you did something really cool back in March, and that's kind of when I was introduced to you and I started seeing you. Tell us about your experience back in March.
So I have been a volunteer with the St. Baldrick's Foundation for this was my 8th year. I photographed the past 7 years of their events. And I promised them 2 years into photographing their events that I would go bald for the cause, but they had to wait for me to get married. I wasn't even dating anyone at the time. I was just about to start dating my now husband. But he and I have been friends for a very long time. And so I told him about this promise. He thought it was a great idea. And actually the following year, he and my dad signed up to go bald. We created a team in memory of, and that's Team Live Out Loud. And so they and our friends went bald for the past 6 years or so. And then this year, just 2 days after we got married, I went bald. Some people are like, how bald is bald? Completely bald.
I'll post a picture if I can find one.
Photos to prove it. We raised as a team about $25,000 for children's cancer research. Yeah, do it. Yeah, grab it and go for it. Yep. But yeah, so we raised about $25,000 with our fierce but mighty little, small but mighty little team. And about 23,000 of that was for my head of hair. I had 19 inches of long purple hair up until March 24th of this year. I prefer this. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to shave next year and the following year as well. So we've got to raise $100,000 in 2020, which will be my 10-year with St. Baldrick's. And next year will be the 7-year for the team, which is it's a milestone year. They get knighted, so the Knights of the Bald Table. And it will be the 15-year anniversary of the passing of my sister. So a couple big years coming up. I'll be bald for both of them. And then it'll go back purple once I can get some hair to color.
So we might be on a little bit of a delay, but if you can you hear me right now? Yeah. Okay. So this leads into what we are talking about today. We are talking about social media. We're talking about getting messages out there, and you raise this money from social media. And one of your favorite social media platforms is Instagram. So I'm going to have you launch into storytelling
and branding
on Instagram. Okay. There is a delay.
Yes. Sure. So I've been on Instagram almost as long as Instagram's been on Instagram. 3 months into the platform, I signed up for Instagram at 2 a.m. I got bored one night, couldn't sleep. Signed up for the fancy new platform that most photographers and videographers were on at the time. It was a platform for creatives. And so that's how I really got onto it. And from there, I loved connect hashtags at the time, so it was a little tricky, but it's been a great, and you get to storytell there, you get to share images. Yes, people share food images and all that. You get to see a personal side, which sometimes you don't know their Twitter or their LinkedIn. Now you've got the addition of an Instagram Live and IGTV. It's exciting to see that platform grow. I've been with them for about 3 years now, and they're the We Are Cisco Instagram channel to about 23,000, 24 right now. All organic, just sharing stories, great photos. Almost all, I would say 98% of them. So that are employed with us, amplifying their stories. A lot of that also turns into Life at Cisco blogs. So we can see from just a couple of sentences and a photo on Instagram, there's more to that story, and we've got to make it longer format. And so we turn a lot of that just by asking, tell us your story, when we ask for permission to use the photo. So there's a lot of hand in hand there, and a lot of exchange on the storytelling side.
So what I like about this is, and this is what a lot of our expert interviewees have been talking about, is you're repurposing the content. So you're using it on Instagram, and then you're bringing it back, and you're also using it on your blog. So if there was someone tuning in right now and they were very new to Instagram, yes, what would be like your top 2 words of wisdom to them to kind of get started and connect with people?
Sure. So Instagram is a massive platform now. It's not what it was back in the day where you post one nice photo a day and you're done. Feel like you have to throw your stories, Instagram Live, IGTV. I do this 40 plus hours a week, and it's a lot for me. And we do have folks who help on the back end because it is a lot for one person. It's just not one photo a day anymore. I miss those days. Those were very easy. So maybe start with that one. Be consistent about it. We post 7 days a week, and surprisingly, the weekend photos tend to do. And be true to the photographs that you're sharing. That platform is a photography platform, so good photographs matter. That doesn't mean you have to be a photographer. I've posted photos that are blurry, for example, but with the intent of being blurry, where there's a story behind why they're blurry. So keep looking at that story because there's something to why you're sharing that image. And then just connect with people. Follow certain hashtags. You can now follow the actual hashtag. So you could follow hashtag We Are Cisco or hashtag Orlando, and you could find people within those communities to connect with and follow and, comment on their photos and that kind of thing. And that'll start building up that network there.
Awesome. Now, what can you tell us? You keep mentioning, and I don't really know what it is. It's the Instagram channel of TV or something. What is that?
It's brand spanking new. As of, I think, last week. So I don't even know everything about it. I usually, anytime that they launch something new on any social channel, I like to sit back and kind of watch for a couple of weeks. I don't like to dive in right away. I kind of like to see how others are using it, and then I like to find out my own way on how I would use it. And a lot of how I see social is it's really about use cases, right? So if I don't use it that way, is someone else going to use it that way? Our dog is on Instagram and she's much more popular than I am. But I test a lot with her account too. So I kind of see how the dog moms of the world are using Instagram and things like that to see how other people, before we run and go face first into it, either from a person or a brand perspective. It's really about your audience and does it work for your audience? Does it make sense? Can you manage it, right? Because again, it's a lot going on in that platform right now. So if you can't manage it, don't feel like you have to do everything and like, oh, now I have to do a TV show, baby steps.
So two questions.
But it's really Instagram's answer for YouTube. And it's all vertical format. So some of us older millennials and older generations don't super love vertical video. It's here to stay. That's how the younger generations like their content. Keeping that vertical format in mind when you're recording video and stuff like that helps.
Okay. So we are on a delay. So we'll wrap it up with these last two questions. So you're probably waiting for my questions right now. But number one, I want to know what your dog's Instagram handle is. And number two, can you tell us, what did you just say? It was so cool. I know. I have a question. Do you respond to everyone who comments? That's my question.
So our dog's handle is Kimbee, Kimbee, the GSP. She's a drug therapy dog. So we actually post once a day there as well. So the kids in the hospital we visit can kind of see what she's up to, even if we're not on site. So she's very popular and she's a goofball. So she also does agility. She's very fun. And yes, we respond to everyone. That goes for both her account and the We Are Cisco account. Not so much on my personal one, but sometimes I don't really post a lot there right now, so no reason to comment there.
That's really helpful.
But yeah, we respond to everyone. It helps with the communication. It helps with the networking. That sense that, there are people. It's not just a robot. It's not just an empty. You can reach someone there when you reach out. So. For sure, we respond to everything.
I think that's really important that you brought that point up because I don't always respond on my business accounts because I just feel like, oh my goodness, there's just not enough time in the day. But you also don't want people to think that you are scheduling everything and that it's I believe Instagram was meant to be organic, and I believe it wasn't meant to be all planned out. And I'm sure with your Cisco account, you have to plan ahead with some of that. Do you? And this, I promise this will be the last question because I don't know if the delay is coming from the viewer's end.
Yeah, we schedule a few. That's fine. We Are Cisco account is planned at least a few weeks in advance, if not a month. We sometimes move stuff around. We're flexible at social. It happens. But we do like to look further out than tomorrow. For the Life at Cisco blog, that's the fall right now. Like I'm in Thanksgiving mind frame, not July 4th mind frame. I keep going with it. So scheduled again because I have to have a life and sanity. So I take a lot of photos. I use tools for Cisco. We use Later for Kimber. I use Plan. I only use two different ones. One, they're both great. Can't merge the two because one is a brand. Kimber's account only. And those schedule automatically. A Facebook business account behind them to be able to do that. And again, if you're getting a like or a comment or something like a DM, that's a person. Just because the photo went out on a scheduled time frame, I don't think that's really helpful. So it looks like she has being frozen. Behind I think we both have feature, frozen. So I'm just going to wrap this of scheduling up here. So it looks like let me see. I think we both. Are you there, Casey?